Welcome to Actual Scale Modelling. This is part 5 of MinArt's British M3 Lee. Scale is 1 to 35. In part 4 I made up the wheels and tracks. So in part 5 I'm going to be placing on the wheels, painting them, and then placing on the tracks. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. I'm going to start off painting the tracks, and for this I'm using Tamiya's X10 gunmetal, and this will be a base coat for the tracks. And once the gunmetal's dried, I'm going over this with Revel Aquacolor 91 steel, and I'm using this colour as a very roughly, so I'm just dragging my paintbrush over the actual raised areas of the part, just to give it that weathered look, but not too deeply. And when I think I put a little bit too much on, I'll just take a bit of paper towel and smudge it off. And this will also help to blend it in as well. But if you're going to do that, make sure don't leave the paint dry. You have to do it quite quickly if you're going to drag it off. And then once that's done, I am going over it with Humbrol's dark grey wash. Now this is a Pacific wash that Humbrol do. There's many other different brands out there that you can get for washes, or of course you can make up your own as well, but you'll need oil-based paint for that. Next I'm going onto the wheels, and it's Revel Aquacolor 16 Sandy Yellow. Now this paint is a watered down version of what's normally in the pot. I have two of these. One is a normal thickness. This one is quite a watered down version, just thinned down with water, and more for an airbrush consistency than anything, because I want this paint to be really thin on the movable parts, so then once I weather it, it's going to have that feel of the wear and tear. And if you look at the wheels that I've already done, they're a sort of like a dusty sandy colour, and that's the sort of effect I'm looking at with the thinned out pigment. If I didn't thin it out, it'd be such a deeper, richer colour, and when I put the vanishers on at the end, it will just go far too dark. It will go slightly darker when I put the vanishers on, but not so dark. And I'm applying the same colour to the actual hull of the model. I should point out as well, I've already primed these. I sprayed them with Alpha's primer, so that's my choice of primer that I use. So you can see there, I'm using the circular motion putting this paint on. This is, for me, the best way to get an even coverage on thin paint, and when it dries, there's no brush marks whatsoever. You know, when you're doing this technique, you have to have a very light touch as well. Onto the tires, and I'm using Life Colours Black and Rubber Worn Black UA734. And these Life Colour paints, I know I've talked about them before, but they're very good for this sort of thing. They have an excellent range of blacks for tires and dusty areas and things like that. They're excellent for highlighting areas. So if you don't have any, it's worth getting some of these sets that they do for these colours. Once the paint's dry, I can then place on the wheels. There's quite a large location points for these. The little brackets I put on the wheels when I was building up the wheels, they sit in just at the edges of the main location area. The location points for them are not really defined, but they do sort of move into place with a little bit of manoeuvring. And once the main wheels are on, it's time for the end wheels, and these just get pushed on. As you can see, they're putting the drive wheel on there, and a little bit tight. As I said, you would have to open this up a little bit more if you want it to be free moving. And while the cement's drying on the wheels, there's a couple of little fuel tanks, well, fuel canisters I'm having to make up. There's 4 in total, and they're just simply sandwiched together, the main parts, and then the cap goes on. It's quite small, as you can see, and then the handle goes on over the top of the cap. It's a very simple construction. It shouldn't challenge anyone. As you can see there, it just pops on without a problem. It's time to put on the track. So as you can see, I'm just threading them through the top part first. It can be a little bit tight, especially since I don't have the wheels free moving, but they do fit. Just needs a little bit of wiggling to get them in position. And then I just bend them around the drive wheel to the bottom position. And to close it off, I've left a gap and I've got 3 links here, and I'm just placing them in, and they're secured with the little side area of the track that's got the pins, and they're just pushed in on each end to create the whole link. And now the tracks are on, I can put on the skirts, and as you can see, they are painted in the sandy colour, and they just pop on. They are attached to the edge of the hull of the tank. And this is where I'll end part 5. If you haven't done so already, why don't you look at the channel for my other builds. Also, if you can, subscribe to the channel and you'll be kept up to date with everything. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.